Hey guys, I'm back with video number 2. Alright, so what we're doing here, or what I'm trying to do here, is create a way to haul more while making it easier on everyone because the technology exists now, in my opinion. So, here's what I've done. Now, a couple people asked, let me get my pointer pen here, why this trailer is missing axles. It's not. Its axles are right there. This is called a B-train. You see some of the, actually, you see them around here in Ohio. The steel haulers use them, believe it or not. Well, some of them do. They use them in the covered wagons. Let me see if I can get a picture up for one here, and I'll show you. They're more common in Canada, but that doesn't mean that they're not around here. They're not used as much here. I don't know why. I think it's because the laws are a little different in Canada. Canada, the trailers are about 32 feet long. Here in the United States, they're 28 feet. I think that has something to do with it. And it depends what part of Canada. West coast of Canada, they do have B trains. They're called Super Bs. They usually run east to west. Anything going north to south is a regular A train. Like, you're used to seeing the LTL companies have. Here in the States, though, the only time I've ever seen B trains used was the steel haulers. Let me see if I can find one here. I got a picture of one on my computer. I know I do. Who is it? That company, Valley Transport from Ashland, Ohio, had a couple, or had some B trains, because they can haul more weight. Here it is. Right there. That's a B train. There's no converter dolly. That's a steel hauler B train. That picture was taken in Toledo, Ohio. Because you've got what, 20,000 pounds there, 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 34,000 pounds there. So you're hauling fairly heavy. You will see some steel haulers around Cleveland, Detroit, Toledo with that setup. They do exist. They're not super duper common, but they do exist. That is 2 trailers. That is a trailer there. That's a trailer there. There's a 5th wheel there. This isn't the best picture in the world, but this is a B train setup, because there is no independent converter dolly, and that is a solid steel frame all the way to there. It's actually cool. You can back it up pretty cool. They're very popular in Australia and New Zealand, places like that. Canada even too. A lot of them in Canada, because around Toronto, Ontario, Canada area, they run them. Here's one from Australia. They run them east to west. A lot of them are run east to west. Now this is Australia. Theirs are a little bit different though. See, everything in Australia is like curtain side unload. So they're not unloading out of the back, so they don't have to take them apart. Canada, it's a little different. They have to take them apart. But here in Australia, it's all curtain side. But what's nice about it is it's a lot more stable. There's no independent converter dolly. If you have to back it up, you can. So what I thought was, forget using doubles. You can't back them up. They're kind of limited to just line haul operations. I said for regular day-to-day delivery, why not use the B trains? That way we could get more and haul more weight, but at the same time kind of make it easy on everyone too. I thought of a way to do that as well. So what I decided to do was, I stole the idea from our friends in Canada. I don't know why this wouldn't be legal here in the States. They be 28 foot. They're even in the CDL manual. They do exist, saying that this is what a B train is. See, this is a B train in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. These trailers are about 32 feet long. And what happens is this whole setup here, the rear axle, slides forward. You know how you slide the tandems on a long box? The fifth wheel is permanently attached underneath there. This whole thing will slide forward underneath the trailer like the rear one is. But so there is no converter dial. You've totally eliminated the independent converter gear. It is more, I mean, it's more stable because there's no pintle hook. There's not this independent thing in the middle. It's totally more stable. Plus you got 2 axles right there, which is more stable than one. It's really a good idea. I wish we used them more here in the United States. For some reason, they're not as popular. A lot of guys haven't ever heard of them. But that's how that works. That's just slides. You know, when they want to pull it out, they pull a lever or whatever they have to do, and then they release. They keep the brakes held just like you would with the tandems, and you just slide the whole box forward, clutchink, and then you back it underneath that trailer, clutchink, hook up your airlines, put up your landing gear, and you're done. There is no pintle hook to check, none of that. You do have to check to make sure the lock jaws are around the kingpin. But other than that, it's good to go. It's all part of the trailer. It's all one thing. Like I said, this was taken on the 405 in Toronto, Ontario. A lot of east to west traffic, not much north to south. So they use these 32-foot trailers up there because their laws are a little different. They're allowed more weight. They're allowed more stuff like that. So that's how that is. I keep this photograph around because it's a good example. Let's see here. We have any more? Yeah, here we go. See, you can tell this is what it looks like. The fifth wheel is permanently attached. The box on the trailer, the cargo hold slides. The whole thing slides. Then there's where the ramp is. There's your lights are. Your tandem axles, it's a lot more stable, easier to go over speed bumps and stuff. So this is a really good picture. This was sent to me by a GFS Transit driver from Toronto. I found him on Facebook and I asked him about the B trains that they have up there, and he said I'll send you a couple pictures. So he got some really good pictures. So that's what he sent me. And then this is what it looks like when it's slid in. See, so that whole thing just slides right in and out. So I think you guys get the idea. Like I said, Canada, Western Canada, what DCT Chambers uses them to haul forestry products. They're very popular in Australia. Mitchell Fuels, there's a good video on B trains that Mitchell Fuels uses. So I figured, for what we're doing here for Tomcat, why can't we use the B trains instead? So what I wanted to do was eliminate unhooking. And what I thought was, we'll have a side door, 2 doors, and it'll tuck under liftgate. With the Magliner mini pallets, we're able to just load the liftgate and move everything down, then the guy can run everything in. Then that would be the refrigerated unit. See, I had the reefer unit right there. And what I did was I spec'd this like one of the CR England's temp stacks, and I put the fuel can on the fuel tank for the reefer unit underneath the reefer unit instead of underneath the trailer. Then this, I put a dry box 28-foot liftgate trailer, and I spec'd it with 2 axles that runs behind there. And so what we do is we load all our dry goods up in here and all our climate controlled goods up in here, instead of having 2 reefer units. I figured, doing the math, the creative math, that you got about 2,200 cube there to play with, which would be about 102,000 pounds. Now you got to take off for the reefer unit weighs something, fuel weighs something, liftgate weighs something, that B train setup weighs something. But I figured you could gross 92,000 pounds in that, and that would be about 2,000 cases. Say there were 100 restaurants that we needed to service, every day, within a week's time, and every single one of them got delivery twice a week, so that's 200 restaurants pretty much, because they're all going twice a week, which means we need to make 28 deliveries a day. Say the average restaurant's 3,300 pounds an order. This truck could do roughly, what I was thinking was 13 stops. 13 stops out of this truck, which would be pretty good. So you wouldn't need too many of these to do, 100 to do 28 a day. Now, granted, geographically and hours of service wise and stuff, you're gonna need. You can't just have 2 trucks to service 28 restaurants a day. They wouldn't be able to cover enough ground. Someone would run out of service, would run out of hours. It wouldn't totally work, but you could load quite a bit. You would have the room and the capacity. So that's why I decided that instead of regular, and plus you can back these up. I posted that video. You can back these up. This thing isn't gonna move on you. That's solid steel there. It's not going anywhere. You can back the whole truck up. Backing up doubles is very hard. I can't do it. That's a little bit above me. But I bet you if I had a little bit of practice, I could back up a set of B trains. So that's why I decided to go with them. A train doubles are very difficult. They're very hard to use on like a delivery route because you can only go forwards really. But with the B train setup, you can, not that you're going to be able to back your way in and out of everything, but you can go backwards a little bit, and that's why I chose them over your standard A trains. So while it looks strange, just remember that slides in and out. And that's the refrigerator unit on top, the dry box in the back. So all the restaurants' freezer and cooler are in here, and all the dry goods are in here for that route. So, like I said, you're running 92,000 pounds. That's a lot of payload for, a restaurant food delivery route. That is a lot of payload. So that's the explanation on the B trains. I'll have another video for the truck and trailer next.